Come on now, bro. All these pound-for-pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
I got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul.
Pussy.
Talk about it. You fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it seriously. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me.
Regarding Jake Paul's involvement in boxing, Crawford has changed his mind. Additionally, he has stated that if all goes according to plan, he would now accept the fight as Tank's potential replacement. This comes after Crawford made it clear that he doesn't think Jake Paul is deserving of competing against professionals. However, it appears that the prospect of a huge payout has made him reconsider. Crawford initially found Jake Paul's representation intolerable. It didn't sit well with him when a YouTuber entered the boxing world, amassed millions, and disparaged actual boxers who had dedicated their entire lives to their craft. Crawford had even referred to Jake as a circus act, someone who transforms the sport from competitiveness to entertainment. He was among those who loudly criticized Paul for disrespecting boxing, a sport that requires patience and years of difficult training.
Can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson was in.
He has since walked that back, though. Respect is gradually creeping in, and the song has changed. In fact, Crawford acknowledged that he was mistaken about the man on Logan Paul's show. "Yes, he's boxing," he replied. "I was first opposed to it. Man, this dude, when people were criticizing you and your brother, I was like, yeah, they're just using their YouTube status to come in boxing and make all this money," I thought. All of these boxers who have been doing it their entire lives don't come close. Additionally, I felt that it was insulting to us in the game. That comes directly from a man who formerly believed that Jake Paul was not a good boxer.
Because check this out, Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, it's gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens, you know?
Crawford claims that after seeing Jake Paul at work, he had a change of heart. He didn't see Jake as an influencer, but rather as a professional. It clicked at that point. Crawford remarked, "I was like, this dude is getting better," after watching him and seeing the seriousness he's taking to actually train and put the focus into the sport. Crawford doesn't say that lightly. In the ring, he is ruthless, meticulous, unbeaten, and a perfectionist. Therefore, something has changed if he looks at Jake Paul and acknowledges that he is impressed. He acknowledges that the effort is genuine, but he doesn't call him elite.
Happened. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, "Oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting." No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN.
When Crawford traveled to Puerto Rico to witness Jake battle Ryan Borland, he witnessed it firsthand. Crawford, who was attending a convention, paid close attention to Jake's clean knockout that evening. "I was in Puerto Rico during his final battle with Borland," he stated. "I was sitting there and I was like, this dude can hit with his right hand." Something was altered. He isn't battling a murderer, of course, but like every other combatant, he views it as a stepping stone.
Of like the influencer world would be the most lucrative thing for my career, and I think I was the only one who like actually wanted to do it, and actually wanted to go all the way, and that's why I set the goal for myself early to become a world champion, set the bar extremely high. And
according to Crawford, he has determined that Jake isn't attempting to bypass the queue. He's not acting as though he's prepared for Canelo or Usyk tomorrow. He's becoming better every time he fights folks who are appropriate for his level. Crawford stated that many people simply want Jake Paul to battle Alexander Usyk. However, you must simply work your way up. And I had much more regard for him after seeing him in person. For someone who used to roll his eyes whenever Jake's name was mentioned, it is a significant change. Crawford is now considering attacking him in addition to simply acknowledging him. Additionally, Gervonta Davis may be out of the fight with Jake Paul. The door is wide open.
Napping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December.
Crawford also thought the battle between Jake and Tank was insane when he first learned about it. He wasn't mistaken either. It's absurd. Tank fights at 135 pounds, while Jake Paul is a cruiserweight who weighs about 200 pounds. That is a huge disparity. However, Jake had no intention of giving up. When asked about Crawford's outrageous remark in a Netflix interview, Jake responded, "This fight is crazy." Due to his skill and experience, the matchup between two of America's most well-known boxers is 50-50. However, this is an incredible matchup since my size is the equalizer. We have no idea what will occur.
See this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino.
That is a classic. Jake is self-assured, strategic, and constantly selling. However, the question that further agitated the situation came next. Would he engage Terence Crawford in combat? Jake didn't even think twice. Without a doubt, I would battle Terence to the death. Now let's run it. That's the struggle that nobody anticipated. One of the greatest fighters in history, Crawford is 42-0 and may be the most complete boxer of his period. However, he is also becoming older, whereas Jake is still youthful, powerful, and large for his weight. It makes great sense in terms of both money and attention.
I'm not gonna lie, you really got knocked out. Yeah, I really got knocked out. Watch the fight, you idiot. Went 12 rounds. Like, you're weird, bro. Bro didn't even knock me out or even throw punches. That's sad, bro. Just know, bro, I'm coming back. It's gonna be vicious. Like, you guys don't want to see that. You guys are weird trying to troll me over a fight I didn't even care about.
It's crazy in terms of legacy. And that's most likely the reason both men are amenable to it. Jake went so far as to say that the battle between Canelo and Turki Al-Sheikh, the Saudi boxing leader, was almost guaranteed before the Mexican icon pulled out. The battle between Canelo and me is still, in my opinion, very important. We're some of the biggest draws in boxing, according to Jake, and I believe it would be an incredible challenge for me. But for now, my priorities are November 14th and finishing Tank first.
His height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox.
Who's left now that Tank might not happen? Crawford is a fantastic fit. A respectable, reputable, and technically brilliant name. Jake provides the marketing, the statistics, and the popularity. Both of them are aware that their combined presence attracts millions of eyes. The speed at which boxing dynamics change when timing and money coincide is fascinating.
Beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Crawford wouldn't even mention Jake's name in relation to boxing a year ago. He says today, if everything aligns, I'd take that fight. It's no longer a stretch. It's commercial. In all honesty, it's easy to understand why. Crawford has accomplished everything. Pound for pound, spotless record, undisputed in 2 weight divisions. Few battles remain that will genuinely thrill fans or provide him the compensation he deserves. Pay-per-view figures would be broken in a battle with Jake Paul. At this time, there is no need to prove anything. Cashing in on legacy while it's hot is the goal.
Know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank.
Jake's side is just as strategically sound. He is aware that defeating another retired mixed martial arts fighter won't give him the same legitimacy as facing Crawford. The real deal is Crawford. Additionally, Jake's boxing reputation will soar if he manages to hold his own or even last the distance.
My only concern is, you know, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake.
Anthony Joshua has answered as well. Nate Diaz is one of 2 former UFC fighters being considered to take Gervonta Davis's job. The biggest surprise, though, was when Joshua's name was mentioned. Following conjecture and lighthearted online exchanges, Eddie Hearn eventually verified that conversations regarding a possible bout between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul had indeed occurred. Joshua's response was as straightforward and audacious as it gets. Tell me the location and time, please.
Includes kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a